Kenyans are currently protesting against the proposed Finance Bill 2024, which includes a series of tax hikes and new levies on essential goods and services. The protest, dubbed #Occupy Parliament and #Reject Finance Bill 2024, began in Nairobi and have spread to other major cities like Mombasa and Kisumu. The bill proposes increased taxes on items such as bread, sanitary pads, mobile phones, and also introduces new levies on motor vehicles and financial transactions, which many Kenyans argue will exacerbate the already high cost of living. Youth-led protests have been particularly significant, with young people taking to the streets and social media to voice their position. The demonstrators argue that the tax hikes are unfair and will disproportionately impact ordinary citizens, especially those already struggling with economic hardship.
Ini kuka, guy. Ini generator.
The government's justification for the tax increases is to address growing debt and fund job creation initiatives, but this has not quelled the widespread dissent. Tuesday was the most direct assault on the government in decades. Journalists saw at least 3 bodies outside the complex where police had opened fire, and medical workers reported 5 people killed. Clashes spread to other cities. Kenya's defense minister said the military had been deployed to support police during the security emergency and breaching of critical infrastructure. Protesters had demanded that legislators vote against a finance bill imposing new taxes on East Africa's economic hub, where frustrations over the high cost of living has simmered. Youth who had voted Ruto into power with cheers for his promises of economic relief have taken to the streets to object to the pain of reforms. The Kenyan opposition has warned that if President Ruto does not step down, the situation in Kenya will be similar to what was experienced in Sri Lanka.
A matter that has never happened in the history of this country, where symbolically the Kenyan people have withdrawn their delegated authority to Parliament by taking hold of the mesh, and that actually means the sovereign power, the sovereign authority of the Kenyan people is vested in the people themselves. So this is not a matter that Kenya Kwanza and Mheshimiwa William Ruto can take lightly. They have said Ruto must go. It is not Azimio saying so. It is the people of Kenya saying Ruto must go. This cannot happen, not in Kenya. This is a democracy, and a functioning democracy, where the will of the people must always prevail. And the majority have spoken. This is why we are saying Honorable Ruto should do the right thing, the honorable thing, resign before Sri Lanka happens here in Kenya.
Kenyan lawmakers managed to pass the bill before fleeing through a tunnel as protesters outmaneuvered police and poured in. The fire at the building was later put out. Youth had announced that they were uniting to keep the government in check as prices for fuel, food and other necessities have soared. Opposition to the finance bill has united a large part of the country, with some explicitly rejecting the tribal divisions that have torn Kenya apart in the past. Some who had passionately supported Ruto felt betrayed. Ruto had been outside Nairobi attending an African Union retreat. He was expected to sign the finance bill into law this week. He has 2 weeks to act, but faces calls from religious and other leaders to think again. On Sunday, Ruto tried to calm the rising public tensions, saying he was proud of the young Kenyans who came out to exercise their democratic duty in earlier protests. The politician, who had promoted himself as a hustler from humble beginnings, said he would engage them on their concerns.